Thanks for leaving, Olivia said with a sneer as she glanced at me. I just stared back silently. We're trying to save money on wages. We don't want someone who takes advantage of overtime pay in our company, Jerry added, looking satisfied. A week later, I kept receiving calls from the company. Hello, I answered. The president asked, "Who are you?" I chuckled at his question. I'm Nicole Wallace. I'm 57 years old and I've worked here for 35 years since I graduated from college. Our company provides administrative support, handles social insurance and taxes for our clients, especially for busy company presidents who focus on sales and lack time for paperwork. I work in the tax department. I earned my bookkeeping and tax accountant qualifications in school, which led me to join this company. Currently, I manage 41 clients, keeping me quite busy. Even though a part-timer helps with accounting entries, it's still a lot to handle. But I can't show any weakness. Our clients are long-term relationships, many of whom have faced tough times. Seeing them persevere motivates me to keep going, so here I am again today, in front of my computer. Lately, I've been having a hard time. Jerry and Olivia have been bothering me a lot. Jerry, who's 6 years younger than me, is now the head of our tax department. He used to be just a regular colleague, but ever since he got promoted 5 months ago, his attitude completely changed. He used to speak politely, but now he's always sarcastic or complaining. Nicole, what are you doing? You've got some nerve slacking off during work hours, he'd say, glaring at me while I'm researching tax-saving strategies for our clients. When I tried to argue back, Jerry stayed calm and said, just check the manual for that. Don't do anything unnecessary, and if you end up working overtime, don't expect to get paid for it. I overheard Olivia, Jerry's assistant, saying, Nicole, you should work more efficiently. At this rate, you'll never finish. She laughed mockingly, adding, that's probably why you're still just a regular employee. I was actually the first one offered the promotion to head the department, but I turned it down. Being the head would mean more time managing and less time working directly with clients. Since it was an internal offer, Jerry and Olivia didn't know about it. I'll make sure to keep up with my regular duties, I managed to say. Despite everything, Jerry and Olivia kept harassing me. You're racking up overtime again. What a waste. Jerry's angry voice echoed today. Nicole, enough already. Your constant overtime is dragging down the whole tax department's performance, Olivia sighed. The reason for yesterday's overtime was simple. Jerry had let a month's worth of declaration forms pile up, all due by the end of the month. After work yesterday, he abruptly dumped several client files on my desk. My heart sank when I saw them. Wait, aren't these all due this month? I asked in confusion, but Jerry was already packing up. I'm leaving. Take care of these, he said briskly and hurried out of the office. Good luck, Olivia added, following Jerry with a mocking laugh. Unbelievable. I sighed as I opened the client files left on my desk. Some of them were supposed to be Olivia's responsibility. I sighed even deeper. I understood why Jerry was harassing me. They wanted me to retire quickly. I have more experience and deeper knowledge in taxation than him, so other members of the tax department often come to me with their questions instead of Jerry. There are other reasons why everyone avoids Jerry. He looks oily and unfriendly. The only female employee who stays close to him is Olivia. Jerry has a preference for younger women. That's probably why he wants me to retire, so the other female employees will rely on him more. It's such shallow thinking. It makes me uneasy. Also, he simply doesn't like me. Olivia was harassing me to gain favor with Jerry. Since Jerry evaluates the tax department's performance, she probably aimed to undermine me to get a good evaluation from him. Anyway, I have to handle these declarations. I need to prepare tax forms for my assigned companies, but it seems like I won't finish today's work either. If I try to claim overtime, I'll just get complaints from Jerry and Olivia, so I resigned myself to working unpaid overtime. One day I was suddenly summoned to the president's office. Our company had recently undergone a change in leadership. The founder's father, who had been running the company, had fallen ill, and his son, who previously worked elsewhere, took over despite being unfamiliar with our operations. Excuse me, I said as I entered the president's office. I noticed Jerry and Olivia there, both wearing unpleasant smirks. Why are Jerry and the others here? I muttered quietly, trying not to be heard. In this tense and strange atmosphere, the president spoke. Nicole, we need you to resign by the end of this month. Excuse me? What do you mean? I asked, feeling bewildered. I've been informed by Jerry and Olivia that you've been billing excessive overtime. While other members of the tax department have around 16 hours of overtime per month, you've logged over 83 hours. Doesn't that strike you as odd? Jerry and Olivia haven't logged any overtime this month. Quite impressive, don't you think? The president looked at me sternly. The reason my overtime was so high this month was because I was covering Jerry and Olivia's workload. I wanted to explain, but blaming Jerry could make it seem like I couldn't manage my time. So I stuck to the facts. I haven't overbilled for overtime. It's because I couldn't finish my work within regular hours, I clarified. The president sighed deeply. I'm skeptical, but without evidence, I won't pursue it further. However, we can't continue to employ someone who works at that pace, so I need you to resign. The president seemed resolute, asking me to leave the company where I'd dedicated my entire 35-year career. I felt worn out too. No matter how much extra work I took on, it never seemed to be acknowledged. Instead, I ended up shouldering Jerry and Olivia's responsibilities as well. Yes, I understand. I'll resign at the end of this month, I repeated to the president, realizing I had already agreed to it. I glanced at Jerry and Olivia. They were smiling smugly, clearly pleased with the outcome. After leaving the president's office with them, Olivia sneered at me, saying, "Thanks for quitting." I just stared back at her silently. Jerry echoed the sentiment, looking down on me as well. We're cutting labor costs. We don't need someone who takes advantage of overtime pay at our company, he added, seemingly pleased. As I watched them chat cheerfully, I began preparing handover documents for all my clients. It was important to ensure a smooth transition, so I made sure to personally say goodbye to those I was handing over to. I also tried to schedule a meeting with the president to bid farewell in person. For those I couldn't meet, I sent letters informing them of my successor. A week after resigning, I finally had a moment to relax at home. I had been swamped with handover tasks right up to my last day, and even before that, my workload had been heavy. A bit of relaxation seemed well-deserved. Just as I was thinking this, my phone rang. When I saw the call was from the company, I hesitated. I had already taken care of the social insurance procedures, so I ignored the first few calls. But they persisted, even calling from Jerry and Olivia's personal phones. Perhaps they hoped I would answer if it seemed urgent from the company. Eventually, feeling reluctant, I picked up. "Hello." "Nickel, it's chaotic here," the president said urgently. "Who exactly are you?" I chuckled bitterly. "Who am I now? Just an unemployed woman. I've resigned from the company, so that's all I am at the moment." The president continued urgently, "Since you left, we've had 55 calls to halt transactions with the company. Please come back immediately." With that, he abruptly hung up. He sounded genuinely panicked. It seemed I had no choice but to return. Reluctantly, I got up and headed back to the company. As soon as I arrived, Jerry and Olivia were waiting for me. Their faces were pale, and they had dark circles under their eyes. "What's going on with both of you?" I asked, surprised by their sudden change in appearance. Jerry glared at me and said sharply, "Since you left, we've been bombarded with calls to stop transactions. Not just from your clients, but from potential new clients we were about to onboard. What did you do?" Olivia also eyed me suspiciously. "I never imagined Nickel would stoop so low." "I'm truly disappointed," Jerry remarked, his voice filled with disillusionment. The reason for their worn-out appearance was likely due to handling all the cancellations. I hadn't taken any actions against the clients, but I had a hunch why they were canceling their transactions. "Well, these cancellations seem inevitable now," I muttered quietly. "So you did do something," Jerry erupted. "Get to the president's office immediately." He then hurried me along to the president's office, with Olivia following closely. "President, I brought her," Jerry declared forcefully as he swung open the door, with Olivia entering hastily behind him. "I've been waiting," the president said, fixing his gaze on me. Jerry accused me as if I were the culprit. "It appears that Nickel was involved in the cancellation of transactions with our clients. We should not only have her resign, but also consider legal action for damages," Olivia argued vehemently, choosing her words carefully in front of the president. The president ignored Jerry and Olivia's interruptions and turned to me again. "Why did so many companies stop transactions after you left?" I took a deep breath and replied firmly, "It's simple. Our clients didn't just need basic tax management. They valued the personalized tax-saving strategies I'd offered. They could get cheaper services elsewhere, but they chose to stay with us because of the tailored approach I provided." Jerry snapped at me. "Who do you think you are to talk like that to the president? Do you really believe you're that indispensable?" Olivia taunted, "That's absurd. It has to be Nickel's doing." The president's expression was serious. Jerry and Olivia focus on operating strictly by the book, optimizing efficiency. But Nickel's approach involves more than that. It's about offering custom strategies that benefit our clients individually. One-size-fits-all solutions don't always meet our clients' needs, which is why many valued Nickel's contributions and chose to remain with us. Jerry grew visibly frustrated. "How can we justify spending so much time on each client's case? It's inefficient." "Yeah, it's not practical," Olivia added emphatically. The president sighed deeply and revealed, "Actually, I just spoke with Dad, the former president. Some of the clients who stopped transactions went directly to him to discuss Nickel." I was taken aback by this unexpected turn. I hadn't realized the extent to which clients valued my contributions. Dad mentioned that the tax department thrived because of Nicole. She not only managed her own clients exceptionally well, but also supported her colleagues' clients, offering expertise that Jerry can't match. Dad also mentioned that if Nicole hadn't declined a promotion earlier, she would have been in a higher position than a department head by now, the president said with a troubled expression. No way, Olivia exclaimed, clearly shocked. It seems she couldn't fathom the idea of me potentially being her superior. The president continued, his tone regretful. I deeply apologize for asking you to resign, Nicole. Can we rescind your resignation? You're indispensable to our company. I was genuinely pleased by the president's change of heart, but I hesitated to accept it. Before I could respond, Jerry interrupted forcefully. President, what do you mean she's better than me? I can't accept this. Jerry was visibly upset, his voice betraying his frustration. Olivia joined in, protesting. Jerry is an excellent leader who genuinely cares for his team. Are you really favoring Nicole over him? That's unfair. The president fixed a stern look on them both. In fact, since Nicole resigned, we've been receiving numerous complaints from the tax department. It seems that both of you have been offloading your responsibilities onto others, haven't you? What? That's not true. Jerry's face paled, his denial immediate. The president spoke with a look of disappointment. I've heard from the staff. Jerry, you've been delegating the preparation of your clients' declaration forms to your subordinates, even assigning Olivia's workload to them for many clients. Beside Jerry, who grew visibly paler, Olivia trembled when her name was brought up. There have been reports that you shifted your responsibilities onto Nicole before she resigned. Jerry, you even called her a time thief. It seems the roles have been reversed, haven't they? The president sighed heavily. No, that's not true, Jerry stammered, clearly flustered and unable to defend himself. Watching Jerry and Olivia both turn pale, the president continued sternly, furthermore, there have been reports of a relationship between you two. You've been seen leaving work together frequently. But Jerry, aren't you married? The president's glare intensified as he looked at Jerry and Olivia. I was simply mentoring Olivia in my role as her superior, nothing more, Jerry struggled to explain, but the president produced several receipts. These are expense receipts flagged by the accounting department, dining expenses claimed by Jerry. Who were these meals with? Certainly not clients, right? Jerry was sweating profusely, unable to answer. Olivia's face turned ashen. Jerry and Olivia, not only have you neglected your responsibilities and inflated expense claims, but you've also engaged in an inappropriate relationship within the office, despite being married. According to company policy, I am terminating your employment effective immediately, the president stated calmly and decisively. Jerry and Olivia pleaded desperately. Please wait. I'll retract the expense claims, just don't fire me. I have a family, Jerry begged, trying to reverse his termination. Olivia echoed his plea. Please, I don't want to lose my job. I'll apologize to Nicole and others for dumping work on them. Olivia was visibly on the brink of tears, realizing the gravity of being fired for neglecting her duties and having an affair with a superior. She must have been deeply concerned about her reputation. Trying to offer some advice, I said to Jerry and Olivia, why continue to resist? It's not helping your situation. Jerry shot me a glare. Shut up? What could someone like you possibly understand? I sighed and replied, Jerry, it was your actions that led to my resignation. It's just karma. What goes around comes around. Perhaps it's time for you to take responsibility and do some self-reflection. Damn it, Jerry exclaimed in frustration, while Olivia bit her lip anxiously. I haven't disclosed everything yet, but there's more to Jerry and Olivia's misconduct. Should I share more details? I asked the president with a wry smile. The stories of Jerry and Olivia's behavior were widely known in the tax department, and their reputations had preceded them. No, please don't, Nicole, please stop, they both pleaded urgently, trying to halt me. Giving them a firm ultimatum, I said misdeeds have a way of surfacing eventually. It might be in your best interest to confront reality before it escalates further. At my words, both Jerry and Olivia fell to their knees. The president wasted no time and terminated their employment on the spot. Later, I disclosed their wrongdoings, which included Jerry fabricating business trips to spend time with Olivia for days, as well as pressuring disliked colleagues to resign by unfairly reprimanding them and imposing sudden, unreasonable deadlines. Former employees who had resigned had asked me to keep quiet initially, but now that they were happily employed elsewhere, I felt it was appropriate to speak up. The president was incensed by the revelations. He expressed his anger by docking their final salaries and announced plans to conduct a thorough investigation into past inflated expense claims. Tearfully, Jerry pleaded with the president, please don't dock my salary. What will I say to my family? Eventually, Jerry's affair with Olivia came to light to his wife, resulting in their divorce. Both now faced claims for compensation in the divorce proceedings. For some reason, Jerry reached out to me, pleading, "Please, can you convince the president to reconsider the termination? Olivia and I are in serious trouble now." Jerry and Olivia were having a hard time finding new jobs because the tax industry is tight-knit. If you mess up, everyone hears about it, and that makes it tough to get hired elsewhere. They really need money for their divorce settlement and living expenses, so they're doing manual labor on construction sites now. It's a big change from their usual office work. Olivia calls me crying often, saying, "Nicole, please help. I just wanted a raise and a better life," she would say tearfully, but I couldn't bring myself to help. I still vividly remembered the stress and problems they caused me. I would say to Olivia, "You made your choices, now you have to deal with them," I explained. "You can't expect sympathy when you never showed any to others." "But it's so tough," Olivia would cry. "I never thought it would turn out like this." "Actions have consequences," I replied. "You and Jerry brought this upon yourselves. You can't undo it now. You have to face the consequences of your actions." Olivia's despairing cries were the consequences of her own decisions. It was a tough lesson, but one she needed to learn. Meanwhile, I found solace in my new routine. Working at my friend's tax office was fulfilling. I enjoyed the work and the positive environment, unlike the toxic atmosphere Jerry and Olivia had created. The president's requests for my return became more frequent. "Please come back, Nicole, we really need you," he would urge. Each time I would politely decline, saying, "I'm sorry, but I've moved on." I appreciate the offer though. Every day, starting my own office seemed like a clearer goal. In my own space, I could make the rules. No more unfair treatment or office politics. My focus would be on giving my clients the best service, building relationships based on trust and respect. In this new phase of my life, I finally felt at ease. I felt lighter, free from the burdens of the past. My days had purpose, and my nights were calm, without the anxiety that used to bother me. Looking ahead, I saw endless opportunities. I could learn more, face new challenges, and create something from scratch. My second chance was just beginning, and I was eager for what lay ahead. Freed from the negativity of my old job, I embraced the opportunities ahead with enthusiasm. As I planned my new business, I recalled the support and trust my clients had shown me. They were my motivation to stay in this field. Their faith in my abilities formed the bedrock of my new venture. With them in mind, I felt confident in my future success. Though my journey had been challenging, it had also made me resilient. Strengthened by my experiences, I was prepared to turn the page and embark on a new chapter with renewed vigor and a clear vision. Ultimately, Olivia and Jerry's setbacks served as a stark reminder of the importance of integrity and respect in the workplace. Their story underscored my commitment to fostering a positive and supportive environment in my own office. Moving forward, I carried the knowledge that I could overcome any obstacle. My determination and resilience had brought me this far and would continue to guide me in the future. My second chance wasn't just a continuation of the past, it was a fresh start filled with promise and potential.